But we don't need another cycle. What we need is like the next iteration of extraction shooter. We didn't need a 5v5 hero shooter. They gave us Concord and everyone was like, no.
One of the things I talked about on stream with Tarkov is the adrenaline rush, the heart rate increase. And I did get that from Marathon playtest.
You remove the friction, the game is smooth, the game's easy to play, anyone could just click play and just be right in it, but they only play for a couple weeks or a month.
You know, we have a game that is capitalizing on extraction shooting, which is great. It's doing it in an arcadey format, which is not like Tarkov or Dark and Darker. This is not a slow, methodical extraction shooter. This is a frantic Apex-style extraction shooter, which is already going to completely change what it feels like. There are, there's kind of three main things about this game that I think surprised a lot of people, including me. Now, first, let me get my old man one out of the way. This game does not look anything like the originals. It looks like they retconned a lot of the original stuff. They haven't yet really done the story for it yet, so clearly that wasn't a big concern. So, like, it's pretty clear at this point that they only brought back Marathon for that. The premise of this game is that the Marathon stuff is like in ruins, and you all drop into these ruins, and you get as much as you can, and then you get out. Well, the problem there is that apparently they're trying to say that these super artsy-fartsy cyberpunk levels are the ruins from the original two games. And that immediately means they retconned the look of the original games. Because if these are supposed to be the ruins from the original, like none of the original game had this weird cyberpunk aesthetic. So I'm not really sure how they can possibly say, like, I honestly think they would have been a lot better off just not having it anything to do with Marathon, because nothing in it looks like it has anything to do with Marathon. I mean, the original Marathons were story-based shooters where you fought aliens, literally, and jumped through like dimensions and, you know, we're on spaceships and stuff. Like it's not even related from the looks of it. And then the other thing people have been talking about is the aesthetic. It has a very defined art style. For me, it reminds me a lot of Watch Dogs 2. And it's one of those styles that is clearly more fashion and cosmetic oriented than any kind of realism or immersion. Like, they want this game to be a fashion show, and they want to sell you cosmetics and have you drops so you can make your guys look like Fortnite, you know, as off the wall, as personalized as possible. And I think, you know, again, nothing like that in the originals. And it's kind of, I think, unfortunate for a lot of us, because when you kind of go down that alley, you start straying real far from any type of immersion or realism. You just become like a giant explosive neon color palette. And it's like, for a lot of us, you know, it's just an arcade game. That's not really like, and don't get me wrong, this is a personal opinion. I do want to be careful here. What I'm saying about the art style is completely just my opinion on it. It is wildly variant from like other games of this type of like, it's going to be real hard for me personally to like get into a game like this, to care about it long term. But I will say the gameplay looks solid. It looks fun. It didn't look very buggy from what we saw. I mean, I think if you like the art style and you like this type of game, it all just kind of works. It works. So, I mean, like I think that's one of the reasons that the internet is kind of split, is because half the internet likes extraction shooters. They like Apex. They like this art style, so that's like the trifecta. This will probably be fun for them. It'll probably be a lot of fun for them. But other people, I think, wanted things from this game that they just aren't getting, or were expecting things from the game they just aren't getting, and are just kind of like, because they made a lot of very strong decisions with this game, especially with the art style. You know, those are decisions that those are risks, and they're gonna alienate some people and bring other people in. So I think that they just took a very kind of large, risky approach with the art style. And a lot of people are kind of turned off by it in some ways. Some people love it, some people don't. I watched a gameplay trailer of somebody playing, and I swear to God, it was just like a 2-minute non-stop sound of weird sound effects. Like it was like from all
the music,
like,
or just
from
like
the game, from the game. Like from all the blipping and beeping, and like the second he targets someone to be like bleep bloop, and then he'd run forward and some door bleep, 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 would open, and friend would come in and use an ability, bleep, 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 and they were all different. So it was just like, it sounded like I was in a casino listening to slot machines going off. Maybe if you played it long enough, you could like discern those. But as somebody who didn't know what was going on, I was looking at this being like, this is like, it just, with the colors and all the explosions, and I don't know, man. I'm old, apparently. If you think about the speed of this game as an extraction shooter. Like Tarkov is way slower. Even Cycle, you could argue, was a little slower than what we're seeing in this, especially when it comes to the abilities and stuff. So it's for people that like that style of gameplay, I'm curious if this will bring them into this type of game, extraction shooters, where they normally felt like that other one was too slow. I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
There's so much friction to play Tarkov. Most people don't even open that game. But that friction is what makes the game so popular to its core audience. You remove the friction, the game is smooth, the game's easy to play, anyone could just click play and just be right in it. But they only play for a couple weeks or a month, and then they're like, well, there's nothing left to learn. Well, yeah, that's because you just removed all the friction. Great if you're playing the game for the first time. Bad if you're playing the game for the 1000th time. Because what makes extraction shooters good and interesting is giving that player the knowledge, the tools to like learn the game themselves. But what's fun about extraction shooters is when they don't tell you.
Is it good that it's super fast paced in an extraction shooter, or the fact that it's so fast, is that going to turn off extraction shooter people? It looked like people were playing this game like a BR or like a Fortnite or COD. Like there was almost no Tarkov style play. There's not like anyone that I saw that was like ratting, right? Like that just wasn't a thing because everyone was just sprinting around. So many times I would see someone looting and then like somebody just sprints in and one shots them. And it's going to be interesting because I think it has made me realize, like, for an extraction shooter, I think for me, slower may be better. I don't know if, for me personally, the super arcadey fast gameplay on top of like the almost slower, more methodical extraction shooting looting kind of loop, like that may be a little at odds for me. I need to watch more of the stuff because I want to know how the class system is going to work. Is it like Dark and Darker where you roll a character and that is your permanent class? And then you can like have a bunch of different classes, or like, do you have a singular entity that then you can make different classes when you want? Like because how they do that is going to dictate a lot of how fun the looting is and how they're going to do the loot based on the class stuff. And, it's going to be like real weird if like classes are overpowered. I really wish personally they would have done like, instead of classes, just had like slotted abilities, right? Customize your character to have different abilities and not like, because this just stinks of Concord hero shooter. Like that's one of my biggest concerns for it is like people are gonna come out and just be like, oh, it's another hero shooter. You know what I mean? There are already people saying it's the next Concord. Why I loved Tarkov, because it gave a gameplay experience that wasn't like the run and gun games that you can just download for a dime a dozen. Like it gave this new look and more importantly, like looting by yourself alone and like just listening in your headphones almost with your eyes closed for footsteps and stuff. Like that's an awesome feeling. Another thing that is so confusing to me. So are you picking a class or are you picking a hero? Because one of the things I saw is Elias Defects, this voice of Adam Jensen, Deus Ex, love the dude, tweeted out that he is voice directing the whole game. Great for him. But then he also said that he voices Void. You're playing a dude named Void. Just gonna be like 10 of that same dude running around in the map. Some hero games make it so you like can't pick the same ones, and they at least try to make it somewhat immersive. As a person that again is not super into the like aesthetic part of it, they show the female character in this sitting down at a chair, and every time she does, she's in like a full new set of cosmetics. And every time I saw that, I was just seeing like a $ pop up above her head. Like of stuff they're gonna put on the store. Yeah. And it just made me realize that like people are gonna look ridiculous in this game, man. They're gonna look ridiculous, especially with this art style and everything. Like, and that's totally cool for a lot of people. Have fun, you do you. Fortnite skins are huge, I get it. The thing I love about Cyberpunk is how immersive they are with Cyberpunk. Everything connects to reality. It's realistic. I don't get that feeling at all with this. This makes me feel Watch Dogs 2, not Cyberpunk. Fashion over form. And where Cyberpunk in a lot of times, although don't get me wrong, it's super, there's a lot of form over function in Cyberpunk. Like things don't always look pretty, so they'll work. I don't feel like any of that in this game. I think it's very smart of Bungie to be fundamentally incorporating failure into the game loop. Like that's smart of them. But one very concerning thing I heard is at one point they were like, yeah, but don't worry, every failure is a new set of memories. And it's like, no, failure sucks. Don't make the failure glorified. No one likes that. The good part is going back in, like make that part good. But the whole like, no, it's okay, you died, you made great memories. Like, no, dude, that not the play. It's just like, you're going a good direction with this, don't screw it up. For people like me, the thing that could get me to really play this game, and I'm just gonna, like, I was thinking about this last night because somebody said, like, hey, Cohh, you're kind of lukewarm on Marathon. What could they do to get you in? What could they do to like actually make you really want to play it? And the way they could do that with me is if they first of all fundamentally connect it to the original games. I don't even care if they do it poorly, just somehow bridge that gap, like make at least some sense. But then also, like, there's a huge amount of lore in the original that could be super interesting in this setting. And it makes me very interested to know, like, how are they going to do the meta progression of this game? Like, you know, is it just going to be like classic Apex seasons, like where it's just like, you know, you get a couple new maps and stuff? Are there going to be Destiny style story things we can do? Like, how is the player going to get the story? Is there going to be some cool mechanism to give us interesting lore about the characters? Like, one thing about that cinematic that was kind of interesting is you're clearly playing with some memory loss stuff. Are we going to be able to explore that? Are we going to be able to like dig into that? Or are you just showing that because you think it's cool? Like let's be blunt, a lot of games like this do. So if they were to go deep with this, if they were to make it very like lore-y and interesting, I would play that. Like that could be cool. Like I could pretty much put everything else aside to dive into something like that. So they keep saying over and over that they're going to respect the original subject matter and kind of like add to it, be additive. So I'm curious, I want to know what that looks like. That could get me in. That could get me really in if it's good.